Today I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD.
Yo, what's going on, people? The Thoughts of an Abstract Mind podcast. Yours truly, Suave Kid. Yeah? Today, I just want to talk about David. David. The artist David. I'm sure by now you've all heard the news. Finally arrested. Now, gotta say, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The more you, it's like, it's like Alice in Wonderland. The more you go, the more ridiculous and insane the story gets. You know what I mean? Let me take a seat. Yeah, we're back to the famous Kids Park. It's become a bit of a studio for me at the moment. But it's crazy. It's crazy, this whole situation. And it's sad. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a really young person, I think 14 she was, with a whole life ahead of her, ended up losing her life. Now he will end up losing his life. If everything we've seen and heard is to go by, I don't know what court in any land that would let him walk free. You know, because there's so many twists to it. Know what I mean? I think now they're even charging him as well with having sexual relations with a minor, which is quite serious in itself. You know, so however way you cut it, it's gonna be crazy. Gonna be crazy, and it just goes to show. It's like, see, my thing is, I don't get people like that. You know what I mean? Why do I say that? You're a successful artist. You're touring. You got the world in your palm. Millions, mansions, a lot. You got the world literally in your palm. On the shows, you're seeing all type of women. You can have any woman you want. Any woman you fancy. But you want a child? I get the guy, he's quite petite himself, so I don't know, maybe it's like a fetish or something, but still a child. You know, there's a reason why society frowns upon things like that. You know, although you might look at someone young and think they look attractive, etc. Personally, I don't even find people young. It's like an automatic switch in my head. As soon as I know they're a youngish person, just switches off. I can't even, I don't care what you look like at that point. You know what I mean? There's a reason why society frowns upon that. Because even aside of the physical aspect, we're talking about the mental aspect of someone. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about the mental aspect of someone. That's why it's frowned upon. Or it's so easy to manipulate them. This girl was running from her family to come join this guy, going abroad with him, and all sorts. Not telling her family where she is, simply because she met some guy and online on Discord, and she's head over heels. You know what I mean? And that's why they're children. That's why they're impressionable people. You see what I'm saying? So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And it's taken a while. You know, when I first heard the news, they found her in his car and this, that. I mean, I thought he would be arrested straight away. It left him touring. I think in the end, his team cancelled the tour themselves eventually. I thought he would be arrested straight away. Over here, serious allegations like that, straight away. No question about it. Until they can prove, you're in the clear, and then you can go. You know, well, it's just crazy, this whole thing. It's crazy, this whole thing. And his team and the people, because you know what I think with things like this, he's not doing all of this himself. There's got to be facilitators. Now, I'm not going to point fingers at anyone, but surely as an artist on that tier, he's got to have management. He's got to have promoters. He's got to have this. He's got to have that. Maybe a possible PA or someone who has assist him with day-to-day logistics, etc., etc. So you guys are all there. You're seeing this guy walking around with a child. The guy, they literally did a live together. And the wickedest thing was, he knew how wrong it was. So he was trying to mask the whole agenda, kind of thing. You know what I mean? On their live, if you watch the live, it's a bit creepy, man. I'm not gonna show it on here. I leave you guys to go check it out. It's all over social media, anyways. But So all you guys are seeing someone bringing a minor in adult settings, and they're not family, and nobody stops to say, "Look, David, like, what is this?" Like, oh, because he's a star, he gets to do whatever he likes. And now look where it's led. Because when it starts rolling down, they're not just gonna focus on him. They're gonna focus on any and everyone who had anything to do with it. Now his friend, who the private investigator, if you've been following the story, there's a private investigator that he goes in there. He was hired by the guy that owned the mansion that David used to live in, and he reckons one of his friends he identified one of his friends who drove the car that the poor little girl was found in. You know, whether he was aware that that's what he was driving the car for or not, only God knows. 'Cause I believe he was interrogated and released. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy. It's just crazy, this life. It's just crazy, this life. And personally, I don't know. What is this attraction as an adult? What is the attraction for a child? Like, you don't want someone that's intellectually on your level, someone you can reason with, someone you can talk about complex life issues with. Not roses and petals and holding hands. And no, life is serious. Maybe for a life of a star on this level is pampered, but life is still serious. So I would assume you would want someone as mature as you to face it together. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, no matter what shape you cut it, I know some people argue, oh, well, in ancient times, they used to marry young and etc., etc. Yeah, that was the social norm then. You have to understand every generation that goes past, humanity just generally, we evolve and we mature mentally, psychologically. We don't stay the same. In the next phase of evolution, we can't grow an extra arm or an extra limb or wings. The next phase of evolution is all psychology. The next the next advanced human beings ain't gonna have any extra physical attributes than what we have now. It's just mentally they're gonna be so advanced due to information and the way they process it and the speed with which they can access it. Like you're seeing with AI, etc., etc. So it's strange. It's strange. It's strange. But I don't know. 9 times out of 10, you find out as well people like that. 9 times out of 10, it's probably some molestation when they were young, etc., etc. Who knows? Who knows? And even that, should that be an excuse? Shouldn't that be a reason to do better or want better for the next child? You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's interesting. We'll see how this trial goes. But from everything I've heard and seen, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be very shocking if he walks away from this one. It'll be very, very shocking if he walks away for this one, because that poor girl, only God knows the horror she went through in her last moments. Why? Because, well, what is generally being said now across the board is they finally found out she was a minor, and I don't know if they were investigating or she threatened him that, he's gonna tell someone, etc., etc. He's panicked. Who knows? Who knows? And why put yourself in that position in the first place? With all the women you could have had. Why? Anyways, God bless and good luck to everyone. My condolences to her family, man. No one. That's the worst news you can ever receive as a parent. That's every parent's worst nightmare. You know. Condolences to everyone affected. But anyways, guys, as always, let me know what you think in the comments.